Hi guys, welcome to the binary programming. I hope you all are doing great. Today I come up with a topic where we will see how to expose a SOAP service in Mule 4. To expose a REST service, I have already created a video. You can check out that as well. Now it's time to understand SOAP services. As we know, till Mule 3, we used to have CXF component to expose SOAP services. But in Mule 4, CXF component has removed. So now how we can achieve the same? Let's see. Okay, so here you can see I'm having this WSDL, and as we know, to create a SOAP service we need a WSDL. As in case of RESTful service, we were used to have RAML for API specification. Same way only we are having a WSDL here. So if you will see, I'm having the operation add. This is the endpoint which I'm exposing. Okay, and here this is a post type which is expecting two fields, n1 and n2. These are two numbers, and on that we will perform the addition and return the response. Uh, Plus response as a return field. Okay, so this is a very simple WSDL I have created. There is a nothing difficult or complex thing I am doing. Okay, so once you are done with your WSDL creation, you can go to Anypoint Studio and there just click on create a mule project, and then here in the project name you can give the name, and then here import raml from local file. So just don't confuse with this raml name. If you will import the WSDL also, it will automatically generate the skeleton for you. Okay, so maybe before importing the raml, let me just go to SOAP UI and see if my WSDL is correct or not, whatever WSDL I have created is correct or not. So what I can do, I can just create new SOAP project, and here I'll browse for my WSDL whichever I have created, and inside this test the scale WSDL it is there, and here we can see it has created a sample response. Okay, so with this we are able to see that our WSDL is correct only. Now I'll go to Studio and here I'll select the same WSDL only. This is the same WSDL, and here we can see it has selected the service and the port. Okay, whichever we have defined inside the WSDL. Now I'll click on finish, and here we can see it has created a sample flow for us. Okay, so this is the same endpoint which we were exposing, and inside this data we will see it has added some fault message, the SOAP fault message. Okay, we will see what is this fault message, but for now we'll just understand as this is a fault message or error message which is set by default, it is setting. Okay, now if we'll go into the SOAP router, let's see what are the configuration it is there. So here we can see it is asking for the SOAP version. So by default anyhow I'm using SOAP 11. So you can select as per your need, and here this is the status variable, HTTP status variable. If you want to change the name you can change, but I'll keep the default one only. If you want to read the status code of the HTTP using this variable, you can read throughout your flow. And down we can see here WSDL location. So I have selected this WSDL at the time when we creating the project, and here by default it is selecting the service and port. Okay, so with this we are done with the default configuration of SOAP. Now again we'll go to message flow, and here in the HTTP listener let me see what are the configuration it has taken. So this one I can remove, and here I'll give this to calculator. Okay, and yeah, with this we are done with our basic configuration of the SOAP router. Okay, now let me run this application. So meanwhile this is getting deployed, let me go to SOAP UI and see if our path is correct. So here we can see it is taking the same path only whatever we have defined inside the WSDL. So this is HTTP localhost 8081 calculate, and for this HTTP listener also we have done the same configuration only. So let this deploy and then we will try to hit it. Okay, so here we can see our application got deployed. Let me just clear the logs, and here we will send. Okay, let me see what is the problem. I think the endpoint I have given there calculator. So I'll copy the same endpoint. Okay, send. and here we can see we got the soap default fault message, whichever it was setting here. Okay, so now you might be thinking for the success also, if we will get the fault message. So my answer is no. We have to manually do the configuration or the business logic, whatever you want to perform, same only we have to do, and then whatever response you want to return, same response you have to return, but in form of soap message. Okay, so how you can define in form of soap message? So here if you will see, I have created a sample fault, success, and the header. Like with the header, this soap messages I have created for you to understand what is the format it accept. Okay, so here if we will see, like first we will see for the soap fault. So for soap fault, envelope and body, this envelope anyhow we not need to define because by default it will take. So here if you will see, in the by default message also only body it is there but not the envelope, but in the soap UI if you'll see, envelope also it is returning. So as this is a soap router, so by default it is generating the soap envelope. Okay, and this API kit, this soap API kit, it has returned the C accept component whatever we had in the mule 3. Now here if you will see, inside this soap envelope we are having a body, and inside that we are having a fault code and fault string. Okay, so inside this fault code you can give a error code as per your error and the error message. Okay, this thing you can keep dynamic as per your use case, and so this fault message, it is very much important or very much useful when you want to do error handling for your soap kit. Okay, like for your soap services. Now is we want to return the success message. So how we can return the success message? So here if you will see, envelope it is there, but envelope by default it will take. Now we need to set the body, and here namespace, whatever namespace we have given in the WSDL, and then the response. So in our WSDL if you will see, in the response we were expecting return. So here we have to give the field name return, and here we need to give the namespace. So for namespace you can select this target namespace. Okay, this mulesoft.org and cal, this target namespace we have to give there. So let's see in AnyPoint Studio how we can define the response type in place of this fault message. So here first we need a body, and after that we will see what is the namespace we have defined. So this is the namespace. I'll copy the same namespace here. Okay, in place of this soap I'll pass this namespace, and the name I'll give kill. Okay, and here let me just maximize it, and this part it is not required. So let me see what is the other thing is required. Then we have to give field return, because in the response we were expecting return. Okay, this is the namespace, and then this is the field. Now here we want to do addition for two numbers. Okay, so first let me just run this one in debug mode and see how our request will come. So then we will try to extract those two values. So let me just stop this and run this one is in debug mode. I'll add the toggle point here. Okay, so our application got deployed. Let me just clear it and hit this endpoint again, and here we can see as we put the toggle point our control has stopped here. Now in the payload if you will see, we got something like so flow payload. Okay, so let me just open this one and see. So inside this payload we are having body, and inside this body we are having data type. Okay, and the length. So let me, and in the header nothing we are getting in the request, so header it is returning 0. And here inside this body if I'll click on this value, here I can see my request it is returning, but I think I have not passed anything as of now, only question mark it is coming. And anyhow our request got timed out here, so in the soap UI we will not get any response, but our request it is there in the studio. Okay, so let me see if I will be able to extract this value n1. So if I'll do payload Directly if I'll do payload, let's see what response we will get. So here we can see payload, if I'm doing, it is returning this some kind of soft flow, and inside that we can see it is having body. So now let me do payload dot body. Okay, and so inside this body I'm getting the value now, and here if you will see we are having this scale add, and inside that we are having this n1 and n2. Okay, now we are having this add, so if I'll do add, we are getting two values. Now inside this one I need dot n1. So here we got the response for n1 is the question mark. Okay, so now let me just copy this, same thing here, and for n2 also we can check. So for n2 also we were getting the response. Okay, now here what we will do, let me just come out of this effect. Okay, so now what we will do here, as we want the addition, so I'll put payload dot add, payload dot body dot add dot n1 is the number 1 plus n2. Okay, I want the addition of these two numbers. Okay, so let me just see here, it is giving some error. Let me see in the configuration XML if really we are getting any error. So here we can see no error it is showing. Okay, so let me just save it, so it will get redeploy. Our application has started. Let hit it from SOAP UI, and this time I'll pass some value 1 and here 2. So in the response we should get 3. As this is running in debug mode, let me just do F8, and so here if you will see, let me just minimize this. So here if you will see in the SOAP body we got the kale as our namespace, return is the field, and here we got the value 3, calculated value 3. Okay, so this calculated value 3 is our business logic that you can keep inside a separate file, so your code will look good, and using the flow reference you can refer to that specific flow. Okay, so this is the way to specify a success response. Now if you want to add some headers, like if you have a requirement there you need to add some header, so same way only like how we are adding this return field, same way only you can add header. But here if you will see this body, it is outside of the header. So here we can see header and body both are at the same level only. So let's see how we can add the header. So here this is inside headers, comma here, and inside this header we are having header with the value, and here for now I will give the value h1 only as my header name, and in the value also I'll pass header well. Okay, so let's see. So somehow it is giving me error here. Let me see in the configuration if it is just a UI error or so it is just a UI error only. I just redeployed my application. So it is giving me some error. Let me see what is wrong I have done. Okay, so here if you will see we are not converting that to XML. So let me just put, so let me just hit this, and here you can see we got the header with the body. Okay, so if you want to return any customized header in your response, you can just set in the same way how we did here. Okay, so you can ignore this error, anyhow we are getting the success response, so you can ignore this. This is just a UI error. Okay, so inside the headers we are having header, and at the same level of header we are setting this application XML, the MIME type, to return in form of XML. Okay, so this is how we are setting the header. If you want to read the header, same way only you can read, like how we were looking for the payload and these numbers n1 and n2, same way only you can run this application in debug mode, and there we were getting the option for header also inside the payload, so you can just debug and see how we can extract the value of the header. Okay, so with this I'm done with the SOAP web services. If you have any questions or doubt, please let me know in the comment section. We'll see you in next video. Thank you.